dive deep into the chilling depths of motorcycle club history, where the Shedden Massacre stands as a sinister beginning to the dark tales unfolding today. On April 7, 2006, a desolate field just 5 kilometers north of the tranquil village of Shedden in Ontario became the haunting scene of a gruesome assassination. The lifeless bodies of 8 men discovered in their vehicles by a horrified farmer would etch a sinister chapter, forever associating Wayne Calistine with the grim history of the Bandidos lore. Join us as we uncover the reasons behind the brutal slaying of these 8 Bandidos members and delve into Calistine's connection to this harrowing event. Wayne Earl Calistine, aka Whiner, his evil background. Born in May 1949 in Ontario, Canada, Calistine shrouded his childhood in mystery. However, in 1967, at the age of 18, he made a notable entrance into the legal system, facing convictions for 3 counts of physical assault, illegal firearms possession, and 12 counts of burglary. Calistine was one hell of a wild man with whom the authorities too were influenced. A policeman once briefed a journalist, "He's a guy who, if you were to meet him, the hair on your neck would stand on end. This is one scary individual." In 1977, drawn to the allure of biker gangs, Calistine sought to join the newly established Canada chapter of the Outlaws biker gang by patching over Satan's Choice, but he was turned down for being a heat score. In 1978, Calistine was found to be a major suspect in the murder of famous businessman Giovanni Di Filippo. However, there wasn't enough evidence to support this claim. In an attempt to conceal his criminal endeavors and secret firearms stockpile, Calistine acquired a farm near Lona Station in 1982 for $50,000, expanding it in 1987 with an additional 52.33 acres of farmland. Whiner becomes Annihilator's president. Whiner became the Annihilator's president and openly embraced its symbol by painting the Annihilator's logo outside of his barn. Following that, the body of David Sparky O'Neill was discovered in a grave with 3 bullets embedded in his head. Police believe that Calistine was directly involved with the murder. O'Neill was wanted by the authorities for murdering a police officer named Scott Rossiter and often visited Calistine on his farm to seek shelter. Calistine used this as an opportunity to dodge the murder charges of Harmsworth in exchange for leading the police to Rossiter's body. In 1997, Giovanni Boxer Musadere joined Annihilators, becoming Calistine's protege. Whiner against Hell's Angels. Calistine was a true rival of Hell's Angels, a massive biker gang in Canada, which in the 1990s attempted to take charge of the outlaw biker scene in Canada, but failed. During this time, a high-profile millionaire businessman known to be associated with Hell's Angels, Salvatore Vecchio, was found dead in a swamp next to the farm of Calistine in December 1998. Again, Calistine fell under the prime suspect position in the murder of Vecchio. In response to the limited number of bikers in Calistine's Annihilators and his intense rivalry with the Hells Angels, he and his fellow bikers joined the Loners Club in June 1999. Calistine rose to become the president of the Chatham chapter of the Loners Club, alongside Giovanni Musadere. The loners of the Chatham chapter didn't approve of Calistine's eccentric and evil behavior. Hell's Angels began expanding in Ontario, and Calistine was offered to join Hell's Angels by patching over the loners. However, Calistine turned down the offer and threw out members who wished to join Hell's Angels, with one member enduring severe beating before expulsion. In October 1999, Davy Dirty McLeish, a whipped and expelled loner, alongside Hell's Angels Philippe Philbilly Gastonguay, fired multiple shots at Calistine's truck while he was inside. Remarkably, Calistine survived. Following this incident, the police discovered 40 illegal firearms and 1 rocket launcher at Calistine's farm. In December 2000, many Ontario biker gangs, including Satan's Choice, the Vagabonds, the Lobos, and others joined Hell's Angels, making it the largest outlaw biker gang in Ontario. Even the Woodbridge chapter of the Loners joined Hell's Angels, but the Chatham chapter wasn't offered to have a spot in Hell's Angels. In April 2001, Hells Angels, after opening a new chapter in Ontario, asked the loners to remove their Onatrio patches as they were only a regional club. In May 2001, the loners, after failing to stand alone, joined the Canadian Bandidos Biker Club as probationary members, and in December 2001 became the full members. In July 2002, Kallenstein found himself sentenced to 2 years in prison after being convicted on 22 charges related to the illegal possession of firearms. Upon his release in 2004, he learned that his former protege, Giannavi Musader, had ascended to the position of president in the Canadian Bandidos. Kallenstein's fury flared as he felt deceived by Musader. At that time, Musader restricted Kallenstein from trading meth, a lucrative drug in the market, and Kallenstein was gaining huge profits from the trade, with Musader being a cocaine addict himself. Kallenstein and another Bandidos gangster, Michael Sandom, alongside the American leadership of entire Bandidos clubs, disapproved of the restriction order. By December 2005, the American Bandidos severed ties with the Canadian Bandidos, which later transformed into the No Surrender Crew. Despite the rejection, the No Surrender Crew continued to wear Bandidos patches. In March 2006, Peter Mongo Price, the American Bandidos Sergeant-at-Arms, tasked Kallenstein and Sandom with removing the patches of the No Surrender Crew. Success would elevate Kallenstein to the new president of the Canadian Bandidos, while failure would result in his permanent expulsion by the US Bandidos. The Bloody Massacre. During a night in April 2006, Kallenstein directed a deceptive gathering, inviting Musader and his entire group to address a fabricated issue regarding Jamie Flans supposedly being a police officer. Sandom, accompanied by his trusted bikers armed with firearms provided by Kallenstein, were already present at the farm. Musader, along with bikers Giannavi Musader, George Kriarakis, George Jessam, Luis Raposo, Jamie Flans, Paul Sinopoli, Frank Salemo, and Michael Trotta arrived at the farm around 10:30 p.m., gathering at the barn. Raposo had spotted Sandom on the rafters with a rifle and, in response, fired a shot at him using his shotgun. Fortunately, Sandom was wearing a bulletproof vest, ensuring his survival. Swiftly retaliating, Sandom fired multiple shots at Raposo, resulting in his death. Notably, Raposo was killed while raising his middle finger, and forensics indicated that Sandom's shot had passed through his middle finger. Subsequently, 2 other members, Paul Sinopoli and George Kriarakis, tried to flee the barn, but were shot and injured by Kallenstein. Kallenstein then shouted, "Everybody get on the floor! Nobody move! I'm here to pull your patches." This is being done by the orders of the states, the US leadership of the Bandidos. Over the course of 2 hours, Kallenstein drank alcohol and allowed Musader to speak with his girlfriend. Kallenstein also whipped his pistol on Flans's face, saying, "I am saving you for last, you Jew." At one point, Kallenstein proposed an offer to Musader, suggesting he join forces in exchange for sparing his life. Musader dismissed the proposition with laughter. Having reached his limit, Kallenstein decided to eliminate the entire No Surrender crew. He ushered them out one by one, seating them in their respective vehicles before shooting them dead. Musader was the first one to get killed as he had requested Kallenstein. Do me first, I want to go out like a man." During the last moments of Musader, he laughed at Kallenstein for unknown reasons, and then Kallenstein shot him in the chest and face at point-blank range. After executing Kriarakis, Jessamy, and Sinopoli, Kallenstein made Flans and Trotta clean the blood using bleach. Sandom took control of the gun and shot Flans in the head, a shot from which Flans miraculously survived. Flans, looking up at Sandom with pain and sadness in his eyes, was spared as Sandom claimed his gun was jammed. Another gangster, Mouche, assumed control and ultimately ended Flans's life. Subsequently, they transported the victims' bodies to Kitchener, a stronghold of Hells Angels, but the distance exceeded the gas available in the vehicles. As a result, they dumped the cars in a farmer's field and left. Investigation and conviction. The investigation and subsequent legal proceedings unfolded in May 2006, when the police searched Kallenstein's farm. Among the discoveries were one of the victim's apartment keys in the fireplace, a half-burned business card from Flanz's computer company, and weapons found in the microwave. The police also observed the barn's floor soaked in hydrochloric acid. This evidence proved sufficient to arrest Kallenstein, Sandom and other bikers, leading to a trial. Kallenstein faced 44 guilty verdicts of first-degree murder and 4 for manslaughter. Currently serving a life sentence, Kallenstein's farm stands as one of the most chilling places in Ontario, Canada.